guys, it's Meg. What's up? What's poppin'? Welcome to the podcast. Every day is a national something day. So what national day falls on July 14th, which is today, the day the podcast episode comes out. And there's actually a lot of days that fall on today, but the one we are going to be deep diving into is National Mac and Cheese Day, hence the title. So the first list we have actually doesn't have a lot. It was nationaldaycalendar.com, which is how I found out that today is National Mac and Cheese Day. And they say they actually don't know who created this day. And you can celebrate by making mac and cheese, experimenting with different kinds of cheeses and toppings. And that's all I took from source number one. But the second source I have, daysoftheyear.com, is where we have the bulk of our podcast episode. So they gave ways to celebrate too. They said that you can buy a box of mac and cheese at the store. They said add a can of tuna. I have personally never done that, and I'm sorry, but that sounds really gross. And I've also never done this, but apparently this is an American favorite, and I just want to know what part of America people are doing this abomination to. Sorry, that was rude. This very interesting combination. There we go. Apparently some people add hot dogs and peas to their mac and cheese. And then they also said, this one actually sounds really good, and I want to try this version out. They said to add chicken, ranch dressing, and bacon to your mac and cheese. The only thing extra I've tried in mac and cheese is hamburger and then buffalo chicken. Buffalo chicken mac and cheese, that is so good. Oh, I've tried bacon, actually. Panera once did a bacon mac and cheese, and I've tried that one. And they said that mac and cheese is one of the ultimate comfort foods, typically made with milk, cheese, and macaroni pasta specifically. Now, here are a bunch of fun facts and then some history behind mac and cheese we're going to get into. Did you know in 1993, Crayola made a mac and cheese colored crayon? And honestly, that was one of my favorite colors to use only because of the name. It was the weirdest, orange-yellow shade. It never looked good on whatever you were coloring with, but I loved the mac and cheese one. It is considered, according to this article, so don't get mad at me, people in this country. Apparently, mac and cheese is a national dish in Canada, and a box of Kraft mac and cheese is the most purchased grocery item in the country. Now, according to this article, again, let's just start off with this. Everything here is according to this one specific article. So don't come at me, please, if you're like, actually. They said that American President Thomas Jefferson was a huge fan of mac and cheese, and some even credit him with bringing it to America. He imported Parmesan cheese and macaroni, specifically, after trying the dish in northern Italy and Paris. And I honestly found this on a bunch of articles because I kept clicking and people were just giving me different mac and cheese recipes. And I was like, I very much appreciate all these mac and cheese recipes, but I want the history for my podcast, not to just be like, okay, you're going to take 1 cup of pasta to 1 cup of this to 1 cup, add a dash of salt and pepper. And then there was one article, not to skirt, but they had the audacity to say that there was a secret ingredient to so many people's mac and cheese recipe. And do you think they told you what the secret ingredient was? No. They said it's a secret for a reason. So why are you even telling me there's a secret ingredient for mac and cheese? Hey, what's up? It's Editing Meg. The article is also saying how it is usually the same secret ingredient for many people, and they still didn't say what it was. But yeah, they said Thomas Jefferson imported Parmesan cheese and macaroni and just kept eating it all the time, and that's why we have mac and cheese here in America. We're going to deep dive into this one later, but mac and cheese was actually a response to the Great Depression, but there has been similar recipes for centuries. An example, in medieval England, a cookbook named Forme of Curry, it's F-O-R-M-E of C-U-R-Y. I'm going to butcher this one too, had a recipe for macarons, not the macarons. It is M-A-K-R-O-U-N-S, if I'm reading my handwriting right, which we know is probably not right. But basically, This recipe in the cookbook was a pasta and cheese casserole that was very similar to today's mac and cheese. Now, this is where we're going to get into even some more fun facts. Kraft Mac and Cheese, you know that company? Well, it was created because of the Great Depression. I didn't know that. Did you know that? James Lewis Kraft started attaching packages of grated cheese to pasta boxes because he noticed because Great Depression, people weren't having money, things were going shortages. People were trying to find recipes that weren't including meat. And he noticed a lot of people were just using pasta, milk, and cheese, basics. And so because World War II started rationing of milk and dairy products because of shortages, James found a way, and he ended up patenting a method of processing cheese that gave Kraft Mac and Cheese its orange color, which is its signature trait. But he literally was making processed cheese to add to these boxes of pasta so people could have mac and cheese during the Great Depression. The oldest known mac and cheese recipe, recorded, appears in the 14th century Italian cookbook, Liber de Cucina. I just butchered that Italian. I am so sorry. This dish, called de lasagnes, was pasta sheets layered with cheese and spices. Kind of sounds like a lasagna to me without the sauce. And then in 2010, Cabo Creamery in the University of Vermont broke the record for the largest mac and cheese. Because apparently that is a record that someone thought needed to be made and broken. You ready for this? Because I wasn't ready for this. Their mac and cheese they made weighed over 2,000 pounds. It used 800 pounds of pasta and 400 pounds of cheese. I would just love to know where they found all of this. Where did they acquire all of this food? That's insane to me. So I was trying to look up what they did with the food, but then I discovered on July 29th, 2022, the record was broken by Schreiber Foods. It's Schreiber. Their mac and cheese weighed 4,742 pounds. It took 3 hours and 26 minutes to cook. It had 2,047 pounds of macaroni, 1,055 pounds of cheese, 1,199 pounds of whole milk, and 160 pounds of butter. They invited the public to eat, and then they even partnered with local food pantries to donate the rest. And then my last fun fact, supposedly, mac and cheese is considered a comfort food because the combination of carbs and cheese triggers the release of dopamine, creating the feelings of happiness. And that is all the fun facts and a little history I have of mac and cheese, which is going to lead me into this week's episode of Deep or Dumb. Cue the music here. Welcome to Deep or Dumb, the thought spiral we're all about to go on. Pretty self-explanatory. Do we think mac and cheese is deep or dumb? Do we like mac and cheese or do we hate mac and cheese? I love mac and cheese. I will always go for a mac and cheese. I feel like it's very hard to mess up, but I have eaten mac and cheese that have been awful and really bad. In theory, they should be hard to mess up, but it's actually really easy to mess up with mac and cheese. But I love mac and cheese. I love all different types. You name it, I'll try it, except for the canned tuna. And nothing, I won't try the canned tuna one, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think mac and cheese is good. I think it's deep. I don't think it's dumb. I will always go for a mac and cheese. But there will be a poll up on Instagram, so let me know what you think. So, the next time July 14th rolls around, maybe go make yourself a box of mac and cheese, try out some new toppings with it, or go to a restaurant and eat it in honor of today's date. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Hey Guys, It's Meg. You can follow Hey Guys, It's Meg _podcast on Instagram for updates and good times. Come back next Monday at 9 a.m., where I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't decided fully what we're going to talk about. Originally, I had another Let's Chat to ChatGPT episode planned, but there's a lot of hate for AIs right now going on when I'm recording this episode, and I saw a fact that apparently they are very bad for the environment and have a lot of, what's the opposite of oxygen? carbon dioxide, they release something into the air that's really bad. I don't understand how though. Like, I didn't really deep dive into it yet. I haven't done my research yet on that. But apparently AIs are bad for the environment, and I do not want to contribute that. I also don't know how true that is. So I don't know. Then I was thinking maybe we do one on Labubus, because I don't know about you, but they seem to be taking over all of my social medias, and I've seen them everywhere now. And I just want to know how this cute little monster, I personally think they're cute, came about and why we're obsessed with them. But then I was also like, oh, or we can do another Pinterest 2025 trend prediction episode, because I saw cherry coated, and that could also be fun. So I guess it's going to depend on what I can find research on. So next week's episode is going to be a surprise. But then the week after that is already the season finale. How are we already at the season 12 finale? That blows my mind. But come back next Monday to find out what we're going to talk about. I'll see you all on the flip side. Peace out, Girl Scouts.